Hey everybody, Ben for the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Blood Bowl Dream Team's Snotlings. You guys wanted it, we pushed it right up the schedule, and we're going to have a look at what's fast becoming one of my favourite teams in Blood Bowl. So when it comes to Dream Teams, what we're doing is we're having a look at certain points of a team, of its league value. Okay, so we're looking at 1250, 1500 and 1750. Okay, so 1.25 million, 1.5 million, 1.75 million, because those are kind of natural points along a team's progression. It's around about, I don't know, probably 8 games per 250. All right, it's going to take you longer as you get deeper into the season, but those are kind of 3 really good points to measure your team at. So this is my view of an optimal build at those points. There are hundreds of different alternatives you can take. You can take what skills you like on who, but if you're playing with Snotlings or against them and your league is hitting the 1250, 1500, 1750 mark, this is where I think you should be to give yourself the best chance to win. So when it comes to Snotlings, it's just like Stunty in the old edition. It is better, but the old edition of Blood Bowl was very much around team value management. When it comes to Blood Bowl 2020, you can save up SPP, so you can manage the heck out of your team value. Now, you've got a bonus here where your linemen are low-cost linemen, so they're free until they start leveling up. That was massively going to help you out with this sweet figure here, which is your inducement value. So as we go, we're going to look at 1250, 1500 and 1750. Your team, not going to be that team value. What we're doing is we're saying if your league is around 1250, this is where we think your Snotling team should be to capitalize on that inducement level. This is an interesting one, and when Snotlings it comes to who should I bother taking a skill on, and some of this is less optimal than it should be, because quite frankly, when it comes to Snotlings, you are such a dog, you are such an underdog, that sometimes it's just worthwhile giving them a skill that is not the best choice, just because it just rewards you a little bit, and that's part of the fun here with Snotlings. So when it comes to playing optimally, playing for that little element of Snotling fun is optimal. So we'll have a look. When it comes to starting your Snotling roster, there are a couple of different builds. I am a huge fan of 2 trolls, 1 pump and full positionals. Why would you not? Okay, 2 pumps is tempting, but I'd rather take 1 pump and 2 bribes regularly. It's cheaper. Maybe your pump wagon will get smashed out, that's fine, sometimes this happens, but actually it saves you TV on your roster, and I don't know, I just think 1 pump wagon is enough for most of the time. So our roster, 2 trolls, 1 pump wagon, 2 fun hoppers, 2 stilty runners, 2 fungus flingers, these guys are the best, 6 Snotlings and 14 rerolls. Now that takes you to 15 players, always keep 1 spot for a star player, and we'll come to that in a second. And then we'll have a look at some skills. So your league is hitting 1250 now. Your trolls are going to start leveling up. Your first troll to level up, depending on your league, depending on what you want to go with, should either be strong arm or brawler. Now, if you take brawler first, take strong arm on the other guy. That brawler is going to be the dude who does a lot of the punching. Strong arm is too good a skill not to take on one of your trolls. But if you want to be punching things with trolls, brawler is a great skill. Now eventually they're all going to get those skills, so don't worry too much. There is a different angle which you can take. I don't like it on Snotlings because Snotlings, they're in the mix, okay? You want to get those skills early because they're going to help, and brawler is a really great skill. Mathematically and from a defensive point of view, it's not as good as block. We've done that. There's a Theory Thursday on it. But brawler does so much work, and we've been playing tons of Snotling games, tons of Black Orc games, and dude, when you've got a troll, throw in 2 to 3 dice, that both down makes them basically 3 or 4 die blocks so many times that it's just worth it. It's just worth it. So brawler is a great skill for a troll, and strong arm is a great skill for a throw teammate. Now this team doesn't need throw teammate in the same way that goblins with a doom diver do and halflings with, you know, no hope do need it. But it's too good not to take on one of your angles because it just creates a fantastic stretch play. So, the pump wagon. Just take pile driver. This guy has secret weapon anyway. Eventually, you're going to get guard on those trolls. Guard helps with fouling. Pile driver allows you to punch a dude, mighty blow them to the ground, and then if you want, essentially the pump wagon just gets to run over them. Okay, it's going to place itself prone, but you get a straight up foul. So if you can bunch in some guard assists or just some regular assists, and remember, you're running Snotlings, you're going to have 13 players on the pitch, you can get some awesome removal with that pump wagon. You've got bribes, so if it gets sent off, it just comes back on again. It is a great skill that combos with its own vulnerability. It comes with Dirty Player +1 as well, so it's Mighty Blow on the armor and then Mighty Blow on the foul. It is awesome. I ran this at Sandbowl 3, couple of guard trolls with a pile driver pump wagon. It's just awesome. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Now, what I said about some skills that may not be optimal, you know, putting skills on Snotlings is often suboptimal. But sometimes you just have to take a couple of skills to make your team feel a little bit special. The correct thing to do is to save your SPP on your Snotlings. Save it forever. But sometimes you're not going to be able to do that. So fun hoppers, if you give them either sprint or jump up, you are going to have a great time. Now sprint just makes them movement 9. Straight up, movement 9, 3++ dodging. Okay, that is incredibly fast. If you want to be leaping with them a lot, then jump up is going to be a great skill and will combo with strong arm. So if you are a more through the air player, or you just want to capitalize on the fact you've got 4 rerolls and that ability to 3+ pogo stuff, jump up is awesome. Your fun hoppers are there to be your reserve runners, and over time they are going to be the guys who suicide into cages and just take take really bad blocks. All right. The tournament I went to, I used a fun hopper and 3 die up somebody, knocked him down, took the ball out. Fun hoppers just doing what fun hoppers do, having fun hopping, which is sweet. Now stilty runners, giving them sure feet again is just going to mean that they are faster. Now in both these circumstances, the correct thing to do is save the SPP for a double or a stat up later. We'll come to that next in the next build. But sure feet and sprint on a fun hopper and a stilty just means you've got reliable movement 9, and the run game for Snotlings is outrageous. Stilties are just awesome, and the ability to run 9 squares with sure feet, it's just worth it. If you get a dude who gets those SPPs and you want to do something to make your team a little bit better, then either of these skill sets on either of these players is just going to make you feel better. Now, one skill that you do absolutely have to take is accurate on a Fungus flinger. So if you're playing in a league where you get to choose 3 for your MVP, chuck them on your flingers, because an accurate flinger is so much fun. Okay, 3+ quick pass bomb, 4+ short pass bomb, it's just perfect. It's just perfect. Bombers are lethal. Now the fact they've lost Hail Mary is fine. Like, that's fine. Chucking accurate on them means you're shooting short range, but that's okay, alright? That's just gonna be fine. It's really fun to bomb things deep, but actually keeping them close to the line of scrimmage, protected by some trolls, and just chucking bombs through gaps and over your own players, it's enough, alright? And where you've got 2, 1 goes, doesn't even matter, right? They're cheaper than a bribe, that's why you run both of them. Now, accurate is going to make it better, and I 10 out of 10 recommend it. You can go with other skills as well. You can pick up pass, you can pick up cannoneer to throw your bombs further, but just being able to 3+, 4+ that quick short bomb is going to be awesome for you. You can sometimes run both on the same at the same time. You can only bomb once per turn, but in that situation, it is essentially fire team, fire and movement. One guy deploys, the other one bombs, and then they swap around. That also hilarious fun. You got a bunch of 6 Snotlings, you got 4 team rerolls. 4 team rerolls is enough. Alright, you're going to pull off some dirty shenanigans, but all of these guys are dodging with a reroll. So when you roll your 1 or when you roll your 2 on these guys, you've got an inbuilt reroll there anyway. So team reroll is not going to do a huge amount for you. And then it comes to the fun thing about Snotlings. So we want to keep around about 400k spare. And why is that? Because you need to take 100 for riotous rookies. It's the best in the game. You just get so much chaff. You can chuck them on the line so that your opponent can block your dudes. They're loner, but they're free. Like, it doesn't matter to your team. You just chuck those dudes on the line. Maybe they die. Maybe they score a touchdown and you buy them and add them to your team. It's a very cool way to do it. Then you've got some cash, maybe for a couple of bribes. That's another 100k there. That's going to help keep a pump wagon on, and if you really need to, a fungus flinger. If you've got 1 pump and 2 flingers, 1 bribe is probably enough. So let's say that takes you to 150. That leaves you with about 250 left to take a star player of your choice. Obviously, 180k for Hack Phlegm is a superb pickup. Alright, Hack Phlegm is just absolute power to your team. One thing I have found while running Hackflem with the Snotling team is you've got a whole bunch of players here that are actually pretty agile and very maneuverable. Hackflem tends to be a split blitzer and catcher at the same time. So actually, if you've got a little bit of extra cash and you want to play more of a bash game, taking Glart at 195 is going to be fine. Hackflem, obviously, with his 1+ everything everywhere and movement 9 is just superb, but you don't actually lack scoring. What you do lack is a good blitzer. All right, the pump wagon's got jugs and he's going to have a great time, but I mean an actual blitzer, someone who's going to be able to reliably 2-die something and kill it. Hackflem's fine for that, but if you're playing against a strength 3 team, then Glart with strength 4 and block is going to do what you want him to do. So Hackflem, Glart, choose the right tool, but realistically what that does do is it gives you one great star player, your riotous rookies for the extra players, and those bribes to keep your players on the line. You are cooking on gas. So let's turn the stove up a little bit. It's been a season and a half, maybe you're into your second season now. Your league is about 1500. Where do you want your team to be? Around about 1055. No more than 1 million. Now what you are doing here is you're starting to capitalize on those bits and those players where you saved SPP. We've still got a couple of suboptimal picks in there just for fun. So obviously we've kept that fun hopper who's either got sprint or jump up just to help you with a bit of speed. You've got a stilty runner with sure feet because you want him to be able to run around. Now, as your team develops, you're not adding anything else. You want to keep your team at 15 players. That gives you the biggest bench possible. You can drop one if you think you're going to bottom it out with team value, but you're not going to. You want to have 1 star, riotous rookies, and 1 to 2 bribes. That's where you want to be, so you want to be around about 400k lower than your league. That's going to be fine. If you end up with an extra 50k, you pick up that, that keg. That's going to do the work for you. So these trolls. Once you've given 1 strong arm and given 1 brawler, you've got 2 trolls kind of starting to have semi-roles there. 1 throws things, 1 throws other opponents. They both need guard. So the next skill you take with them, once they've started smashing through and gaining some SPP, will be guard. Now the reason you don't take guard first is because brawler is going to help you block better and strong arm is going to get you some completion points. So both of those skills are going to help fast track you additional SPP. If you take guard, all you're going to be doing is just punching with strength 2 Snotlings. If you take brawler, you're going to be 2 to 3 dying, 3 to 4 dying blocks. That's going to help you with casualty and make the most of it. So these skills help propel you to get your secondary skill. Now, why guard? Your trolls are stronger than everything. Your Snotlings are so much weaker than anything that's bad. Why take it? There are 2 excellent reasons. One is fouling. Okay, it combos beautifully with the pump wagon who has dirty player and then takes pile driver. 2 guard trolls and a pump wagon walk into a bar. Nobody else leaves because the pile driver dude is smacking a guy around with mighty blow, then he's fouling with dirty player +2 for guard +3. That guy is gone and it's just hilarious fun. Now the other angle here is that as your team develops, so will your opponents. So having guard will help counter their guard, but also it will massively help you with 1, your star player that's going to get hacked them 2-die blocks a lot of the time, but 2, your Snotlings can get great blocks, and any time you can move a couple of dudes around and get a profitable Snotling block, you need to take it. Game 1 of Sandbowl, my Snotlings took out an Orc Blitzer and an Orc Thrower, just because I was able to flex with some guard, flex with my numbers, and just throw a couple of 2-die blocks. Incidental blocking is going to massively help you, and with this team you've got the numbers, so taking the guard gives you the strength, and that becomes incredibly frightening. Now don't get me wrong, at 1500 your opponent's going to have some tackle, but depending on the meta of your league it may not have that much tackle, except for those dwarf players. And those dwarf players are playing dwarves so that they can counter Hackflem, so watch out for that. So guard on those trolls helps make the possibility of incidental blocking better, and it helps with fouling with the pump wagon and just regular Snotlings. So we've got the sprint or jump up fun hopper, whichever you fancy. The other guy, you've been saving up SPP. 12 SPP is not a lot. It is only 4 touchdowns. Snotlings are going to be scoring, hear me out, 2 to 3 touchdowns a game. And they're going to be doing it with your most scoringest players, which are going to be the fun hoppers and the stilty runners. So you're going to get to 12 SPP in not a lot of time. That's why I said, optimally, get rid of these and save up the SPP. However, sometimes it's just really fun to get a Snotling who scored 2 touchdowns in a game and you just want to give him a skill because you don't know how much longer he's going to be alive. And that's okay. But The Fun Hoppers. Dauntless, because they are going to be the closest thing you have to a ball hawk. Your Fun Hoppers are going to be able to jump into a cage. You are going to have tagged the sides of the cage because you've got 75 Snotlings on the pitch. And Dauntless is going to mean that you've got a 3+ chance at a 1-die block. So 3+ to jump in, 3+ to get a 1-die, and then realistically in that situation, it's going to be anything but a skull, and then you're going to be really happy with that result. Pow, Pow Star, both down, all great, and a push is going to knock that dude outside of the cage and into a wall of Snotlings. There's also the excellent chance that you will be able to chain push into somebody who's already on the side of the cage, and you can get multiple blocks in a turn on the ball carrier. That just creates opportunity, and Snotlings only need a little opportunity to just start mobbing the ball and then winning the game. So Dauntless on a Fun Hopper, yes please. Now the Stilty Runner becomes your primary runner here, so the Fun Hoppers are there to be desperation scorers and ball hawks. Your Stilty Runners are going to be, as your league team develops, your primary ball carrier. Now they're going to die a lot, like that's fine, but saving up that SPP, giving them sure feet means they are fast. 9 squares per turn is a very long way. Block. Becoming a sidestep blodging player is fabulous, okay? When they get blodge step, it protects them. That's going to keep them alive for longer. It's going to keep them standing. It's going to keep them on the ball, and every now and again, it's going to give you a pretty good chance at a nice block. We've said we've got some guard. We said we've got numbers. If your Stilty Runner becomes your primary ball carrier, and then he's got block and has a chance at doing 2-die blocks with block, he's going to start piling some pain on this team, which is hilarious, but also infamous. Your runners are going to start becoming infamous. Now these skill sets combo, whether it's sprint or jump up and Dauntless is a great combination. Sure feet and block when you're movement 6 with sprint starts to be a really good combination. You've got a movement 9 blodger. I'm alright with that. Fungus Flingers, like I said, accurate, best skill for them. It's just great fun. It's just carnage. And then you've got another optimally suboptimal choice when it comes to Snotlings, which is random general skills. Do it. Just do it. Your Snotlings are going to score touchdowns, okay? Sometimes your Fun Hoppers are not going to be in the locale. Sometimes you're just not going to have enough of those guys. Sometimes it's going to be a Snotling. If they get 2 touchdowns, you take a random general and you love it. Okay, I don't care what you get. There is no bad skill for them. That's not true. There are several bad skills, and if you get a bad skill that you don't want, if they get shadowing, probably not ideal. You can fire them. You can just fire them. But taking a random general skill costs you 20k to your team value. You're 450k behind your league. Taking that 20k is fine. If it's tackle, that's gonna be useful. If it's block, it's gonna be very useful. Kick is gonna be awesome. Bend, maybe not so much. There are some skills there that are going to do great things for you. Sure hands. If you roll, block, wrestle, sure hands, kick, there's a ton of skills there, tackle, that are going to be useful. And actually for 20k, why not? Take it. Take a punt. They get 6 SPP, you take a random general, and you just have a great time. And then we go into the big leagues. So when your league is 1750, you're probably into your 3rd season now. Your team is probably 1250, 1200, 1300 now, because you've got some long-standing players. There's 2 things to mention here. One is that there are several Snotlings on this screen with 2 skills. Now, Snotlings are cool, but they are not the toughest, so that may not happen. But we're playing a game of fingers crossed here. The Trolls, however, with regen and armor 10+ and strength 5 are probably going to be around. So, strong arm, guard, brawler. Brawler, guard, strong arm. We've talked about this. Strong arm is great for throwing dudes. Brawler is great for throwing dice. Guard is great for your team's combo level. And then top them up the other side. Now, there is definitely a counter argument to say, actually, if we're going to be brewing up and saving players, let's save up SPP and take block first on the Trolls. You totally can. I'm very aware that Snotlings are a bit of a lull team. They can play super well, but I would rather have Brawler by game 2, 3, 4 than have block at game 12. It's just, you're going to miss it. Alright, Trolls are going to throw 2 dice and they're going to get a push and a both down. So many times you're going to say, man, I wish I had Brawler. I just wish I had Brawler. That's going to work. Strong Arm is going to help brew you up with SPP as well. Now, maybe, actually, you want to do that and you want to take block if you're playing in the long haul. And when it comes to Blood Bowl 3 and playing online, you're going to be able to farm games, no problem at all. But if this is tabletop, you're in game 25 of Snotlings now. How many games do you want to be without having an edge? And that's what the whole sprint, jump up, sure feet thing is. You want a little spice to keep yourself interested. You don't just want to keep playing vanilla Snotlings. You want to build a franchise and build character. And if you've got some trolls, for example, like Barry and Paul in the Bonehead Championship, the Chuckham brothers. Oh, you know what? That's not out yet. Don't tell anybody. It's pretty cool to see players starting to develop. So those are those guys. Now the pump wagon has taken pile driver. It's had so much fun, so many casualties because you've got some guard trolls there to help throw many dice with many modifiers. Frenzy it up, baby. Just frenzy. It's a terrible choice. But then you can start just driving at stuff with the pump wagon. It doesn't really need anything else. It doesn't really need anything else. Okay, break tackle's not very good on it because it's a 3+ dodge. It doesn't need guard because it's the one who's doing the stuff. Frenzy, save up those SPP, plow it on there. Then it's running in. It's making 2 2-die blocks. It's got mighty blow. Then it's dirty player pile driving things out. That pump wagon is going to become infamous. It is subpar, and at this point it's going to be what, 20, 60, 170k. But dude, it is so much fun, and when it works, it is going to be terrifying for your opponent. Any team with average strength or any team with big guys is going to line up and be like, I am afraid of that pile driver because I'm afraid of that pump wagon. It's got frenzy, it's got assist, it's going to be able to 4-die block my big guy and then mighty blow it, then foul it into it. It is a removal piece. It is going to get targeted, but just buy another one if it dies. It's fine. It's great fun, but it is just a tool, and I love the pump wagon for that. That's why I only really like one. The fun hoppers, we talked about this in the last one. Jump up or sprint and dauntless are going to combo together to create bullhawks. If you can live long enough to get 2, it's just going to be hilarious. Then you want to save for wrestle, all right? But that is a long way to go, and I'm very aware that's not going to happen. The reason we took sprint or jump up on this guy, first of all, is because you want that immediacy. You want that bit of, cool, let's do something cool with the player. Dauntless is going to be a great choice for you. Jump up combos brilliantly with it, and sprint is going to help get you there to make the rolls. So do that, and then you want to be moving on to wrestle down the line. If these guys get some casualties and some SPP and some MVPs, whatever, Dauntless, jump up, wrestle, fantastic times. Now, Stilty Runners, sure feet and block is what you want. They're blodge step at movement 9 forever. I don't know, you don't need anything else. That's fine. At that point, you can save up. Maybe just keep saving up. Take a random stat up. Boost your movement to movement 10. Movement 10 is not bad, okay? Or you save up for a double. I think these guys get strength. Give them break tackle. Then they're actually 2+ for 1 dodge per turn. That is pretty great too. Then they are invincible. But blodge step is great, and it's really great on a movement 9 piece. Accurate on both the fungus flingers. If they do end up getting a second skill, then you can just play with some of the stuff. Pass is probably the best one there. If you're 3+, 4+, chucking a pass on there means you're throwing a bomb 4, 5, 6 squares on a 75% chance of landing it exactly right. That's going to be fun. You can take Cannoneer and then just start 4+, 5+, 6. Yeah, you can start chucking medium bombs on a 5+. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. That's a bit inaccurate. It's just really hilarious to be able to throw 6 squares accurately and just be like, oh cool, edge of a cage, bomb, 3 guys out, blitz in with Glart, blitz in with the pump wagon, blitz in with a Stilty. It's just awesome fun. Now, as you develop your team, save up 1 Snotling. Okay, you've taken a couple of random generals because you can't wait, because Snotlings live such short, beautiful, beautiful lives that it's not worth saving forever. 1 dude, though, needs to save up to 12 SPP and take Dirty Player. You've got Guard, Dirty Player. You can just mop up. The pump wagon's not going to be there forever, and 1 other guy to foul is going to be great. Otherwise, you can just keep farming random generals if those Snotlings live, and it's going to keep you at that 450 mark, which is 2 bribes, riotous rookies, and a star player of your choice. With any extra cash, you just get the potential of a keg to get some of these back when they get knocked off. But at the end of the day, you're going to be running a team of about 20 players. You're going to lose a bunch of players, but you still should be able to set up 10 to 12 in the last drive of the game. And if you've got 10 to 12 dudes, you can absolutely win games, because one of those dudes probably going to be a star player and the rest of them are just 2+ dodging anywhere. It is filthy, it is fun. Your opponent is going to be like, oh cool, I got Snotlings, and then when you start playing, they're going to realize that they are fighting against a waterfall of tiny green dudes, and it's beautiful. Anyway guys, I love Snotlings. This is where I'm taking my teams. This is what's worked for me, and I recommend it completely. So come on, Blood Bowl 3, let's be able to farm 50 games of Snotlings and make some dirty combinations. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think of Snots, and we'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content. We get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.